bringing it back. We back. One really make a mistake again. Yeah, my producer now come to warn me. My producer, aka my wife, Joella. So good evening once again, people. Good people, nice people, lovely people. We inside once again another edition of Red right here in the Red House. Not the one down the road, right? No, don't mind the colors. Well, it's a good thing it's kind of orange, not red per se. Next thing people want to say some kind of political thing and all kind of thing. And you see all the kind of mad thing that happening all over the country. You ain't a man laughing in the back there. We go get the in a little bit, right? Don't worry about that. Yeah, man. So good evening once again, people. Nice people. Trinidad, Tobago, 868. You know, Trini to the bone. Welcome again to another edition of Red. We inside here in the Red House. We've been having a nice time since this season started. The session started in the lockdown. I actually named this season 1 lockdown because everything happening in the lockdown. Hopefully when things open back up a little bit, we're able to start going out and doing some live stuff on the scene and all that kind of stuff. Nice. But in the meantime, you know how to drop it, as I say. If you're liking what we're doing, you like what we've been doing so far, you're getting some kind of value, you're learning something, the education is coming at you, you're being inspired, you're being motivated, give us a like, give us a share, let your friends know, let your family know, and of course subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, there's this little bell thing, click that little bell so you'll know every time we go live, you understand what's happening, and you could be in sync with what's going on. Right? Of course, we're on YouTube. There's a choice we've made as a business whether to stream, because we had options: YouTube, Facebook, of course, Twitter is, you can stream on Twitter called Periscope, which is Twitter rather. A lot of people stream on IG. I don't know, I just can't get around to watching a show on this little thing. It just hit me. I like the big screen. Maybe it's the era that I come up in. I just like a big screen in front of me. Because if I tell you go cinema to watch a movie and walk with your phone, because you ain't gonna like that. Yeah, you go kick first, but you don't have a problem watching a whole thing an hour and a half on IG. Anyhow. But we have another pack show inside this evening. You would have seen the billboard running for the last few days. If in case you missed it, this is what it is all about. This gentleman we're going to talk to this evening, an artist. He's an artist, he's a teacher, he's a literal teacher, a school teacher. He's an entrepreneur. We're going to get into some of that. And he's a philanthropist. Sorry, I have a teacher here, so I had to say it good. I had to put me, as they say when you smoke, you had to put your teeth between your tongue. He's a philanthropist. So I'll leave him as mic on. You can hear the voice in the back because we'll bring him on camera just now. So of course that's the man, Daryl Anthony Dolland, aka Dad for short. Of course that's the abbreviation of his names. But before we actually get into him, introduce him properly and start the talk, I want to hit you this tune because today what we want to do is we're going to touch on those four facets, of him being a artist, a teacher, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. But today we're going to focus on the artistic side of it. Daryl Anthony Dolland, the artist, aka Christelike, and we're going to get in some more about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about the other things, but I'm hoping that, well, not hoping, I mean, I could say it bravely, but I'm hoping that we can have subsequent shows where we could get more detail into the other things, because, for instance, one of the things he's involved in is establishing a homework center in his hometown of Valencia in honor of his deceased mom. And of course, there are other projects which he wants to do in honor of his sister, who, again, somebody who was very close to us as a family unit kind of thing. We kind of grew up together. We've been involved in stuff. So the man is involved in a lot of things. He's been doing some stuff, helping people, working with children, and of course, he is a school teacher. So we want to understand, how does he balance that whole thing? You're an artist, you're a school teacher, and you still have business, some kind of business on the side. How you I could probably learn something again, as I have been learning for the last few weeks in this series. I have been learning. I feel like I'm in school with these people. But I want to start off with this. Taking this one from the man Daryl Anthony Dolland. And I'm sure some of you would have seen this on YouTube. But take this in and we get right back to it.
Yo, it's Christelike. School. Alright. Kingdom ambassador that we are be, representing hard for the Almighty. Bold as a lion with full authority. When we are speak boldly. We not talk if Jana say so, and we don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it because we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. And we not talk if Jana say so. We don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it because we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. I said I have a dab on social media. Can pong an idea one ounce of scripture. Nothing suit up to treat with error. Folly run wild like grass and picker. Question God authority, the people gone mad. Life is empty, the poor people them are sad. No dependence on the spirit of God. Set us in me make the Bible a father.
You misrepresent, full your account. Sell prophecy, not give no discount. Judgment I wait if you're not up front. Judgment I fall on disobedience.
Well, the word of God is true, now making no lie. But the people with your Bible and your tie, just set them free, just open them eye. In a judgment fire, all liar, I'm a friar. We not talk if Jana say so, and we don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. And we not talk if Jana say so. We don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow.
Bag a Google grace so them act like a star. Word I choose so them a stay far. Sticking an idea like them in a tar. Joy riding a crash to me car.
Jah is my light and my salvation. It might depend on from my direction. Searching at the word for revelation. Chew upon the word with my teacher wisdom.
Meditate daily for my liberty. Jah word is a what I guide me. Now I get trapped in a philosophy. Jah word I give life and that's all for me.
Well, see as you want and do as you please. In a due time you go and answer for these. Corrupt Jah word like stone in a pizza. Punch on me Jah give you no ease. We not talk if Jana say so, and we don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it come and just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. And we not talk if Jana say so. We don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it come and just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. Yabba dabba on social media. Them come an idea one ounce of scripture. Nothing suit up to treat with error. Folly run wild like grass and picker. Question God authority, the people go on mad. Life is empty, the poor people them are sad. No dependence on the spirit of God. Set us in me make the Bible a father.
You misrepresent, full your account. Sell prophecy, not give no discount. Judgment I wait if you're not up front. Judgment I fall on disobedience.
Well, the word of God is true, now making no lie. On the people with your Bible and your tie, just set them free, just open them eye. In a judgment fire, all liar, I'm a friar. We not talk if Jana say so, and we don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. And we not talk if Jana say so. We don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. We not talk if Jana say so, and we don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow. And we not talk if Jana say so. We don't walk if Jana say go. Now school of it, come we just want you know. This is just how we choose to flow.
Boom! We not talk if Jana say so. I set a yaba on the social media. Yeah, man, oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house this evening, the man himself, Mr. The musical vibrations are coming out you from the man Anthony Dolland. Well, we know him as Daryl, right? But Anthony Christelike Dolland, artist, teacher, entrepreneur, philanthropist. Say a good evening to the people and we take it from there.
Good evening to Tobago, the Caribbean, the rest of the world. I know Eric is an international guy. So, I don't know how far this is. So, throughout the world, blessings to you all and a privilege to be here this evening.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Well, of course, we usually have some people logging in from up the islands, and sometimes a lot of people. Yeah, Barbados, other countries, Antigua. Your boy Dexter does take it in when he can. Have people upstates and stuff does jump in. So usually start with a small crowd and build. But that's all right. The numbers are usually grow on the replay after. A lot of it's YouTube, so a lot of people go back up and look at it after the fact. So hey, we inside people. The man himself, Mr. Daryl Anthony Dolland, and he already just said his good evening. So we want to say a pleasant evening to his wife as well, Patrice Dolland, and the kids. How much now, boy? How much now?
Yeah, same tree.
Oh, sorry. Somebody that they added a fourth that. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, there boy, lockdown scene is trouble. Alright, so as I said this evening, guys, I want to get into we want to focus a little bit on the artistic side of this man. I've had the privilege of working with him for a number of years in various capacities where music is concerned and the arts. And just for explanation, he is a singer, he's a songwriter, he is a spoken word artist, but he's also a musician. A lot of people don't know that side. Right? He was actually my drummer for a little while in some stuff that we used to do. But we'll get more into that. But the man is, and this is just on the artistic side. So you can imagine why I can't do everything in one show. Because when we start to talk business, the man will start to tell a thing about success planning and long term and short term, and your 2-year plan and your 5-year plan and your thing and your goal setting, all that. That's a whole lesson by itself. So we got to talk with him on the entrepreneurship in a subsequent episode. And then, of course, as I said, we want to find out a little more about the philanthropy that he's involved in, the Homework Center and other projects. I know not too long ago, just before the COVID, I believe, they did something in Valencia where they basically locked down the area. They had people from the medical fraternity doing like pressure testing and checking for different kind of ailments and conditions and all that kind of. So the man doing some good work. The man doing some serious. And watch his face. That baby, Yes, yeah, baby. Watch. Look, milk. Look, he just rubbing out the milk from his beard. Yes, milk on his beard still. Yes, know what? I'm impressed. I congratulate these guys, and he knows me. I'm one of those guys who will tell you as it is. If you're wrong, I tell you you're wrong. There's no malice. But if you're going right, you're doing something, I will congratulate. I will work with you. I will support you. Big up all the time. And the man has been doing some fantastic work, even at this young age, and really changing and impacting lives. So Daryl, let me get into talking the artistic thing. Where that from as far as you can remember, what was the genesis of that? Where that little spark come out that hey, I could sing or I want to. Where you could remember?
Well, I know that I have always been around that family who just love music. My mother in particular, she had well, I don't know how many people don't know about records. them like the one on our turntable.
Yeah.
The original DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom had this large collection of albums, different,
Okay.
Michael Jackson, and they had Marshall Montana, a whole lot of these different guys. And then my brother Perry started having some addition like Dallas Holmes and EPN.
Okay.
So I've just been always around music. And when it comes to the actual involvement, I remember it really was like in school, in the choir, in the little school choir and stuff. And then attended what we call daily vocational Bible school. At the end of that week, they will normally have little talent to display. Excuse. And that was like the first time I actually sang that individual to my memory. I did a song at the end of the VBS. And
okay.
We started there, and one thing kind of led to the next. We had lyrics and a couple of other stuff.
Yeah.
That was the first group. That was the group. And I kind of came in after because those guys had started before.
Okay.
And yeah, and then they told us about it, my brother and I, Eric, and
Yeah.
and you know, I think, well, actually, Eric, you kind of came in at that junction that when we decided that we wanted to do something with it,
Yeah.
and you know, we kind of started giving instructions. All these guys who started were a little bit older than me, but they I don't know, they had a certain confidence in me in terms of heading the group, so they kind of
Yeah.
took us mind up, and that, you know, just kind of moved from there.
Yeah.
From there.
That was a good throw. That was a sensible throw. To throw it in your lap. Yeah. No, but there was some fun times. There was some fun times. Always remember Barbados in particular. Having the opportunity to play. Well, at that time, that was like a big thing. You get to be on the same stage with people like Stitchy, Papa San, you know, and to forerun them, you know, kind of thing. Because, I mean, understanding how the industry does go, if you ain't do a good job, you make it harder for the main artists when they come up. And, you know, to know that we got that privilege, you know, a couple of years running kind of thing, you know, that was interesting and that was nice. Steve Kuban, yeah. City Slam in Barbados and Gospel Fest and all that kind of thing. Yeah, that was nice. That was interesting. So, yeah, boy. So how? Well, the thing is, here the funny thing. I'm gonna ask this question now. Obviously, we were both there, but I honestly never asked any of the members their personal feelings on that period. I never did. And just for information, putting out there, I was actually managing this band at the time called G Lyrics. For a few years, took it over for a little bit. I think the first time we went, Raj was the manager. The first year. I think the second year is when I took over as manager.
And you actually asked them to manage.
Yes, the first time.
Travel.
Yeah.
You were kind of MDing
Yeah.
for the band.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, they now tell me they was barely hearing you on the thing, yeah? All right.
Oh,
so I'll fix that. No, that's right. I'll fix that.
Okay, cool.
But they were hearing, but just soft, so I'll fix that. I know what the problem was. Right. So I'm saying I never asked anybody their personal feelings on that whole, you know, traveling thing and what it felt like and that kind of thing. So I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What was it at that time, as far as you could remember? What was going on in your mind and in your heart at that time?
I think that for me, you know, as a young man at that time, looking up to guys like Steve Kuban, the year that we were the opening act for Steve Kuban, I think he had released probably one or two of his albums already. So his music was trending in churches and stuff, you know. And I remember while we were there, he actually called the two backups, which was Joanne and Amri. You know, God bless them. God bless their souls right now. They're celebrating in heaven.
Yeah.
But you know, he had actually asked them to be a part of it. And for me personally, I saw that as a very humbling experience, because, you know, a little guy coming out of Valencia, you know, our history as young men, you know, in let's say communities like that, you know, our scope tends to be seen as limited. But for me personally, I say, like, when I'm traveling, I'm out of the country, on a big stage, I'm alongside people that I respect and appreciate and, you know, admire their ministry and stuff. So it's really humbling, you know, to know that it's not just what ability that I had or the team had, but it's actually seeing how God is able to use you despite what. It's really humbling in both instances. For the year with Papa San in particular, I think that was probably even more. I don't know, you was excited, but because Papa San was a guy I used to follow before I was saved.
Right.
You know, I used to listen to Papa San music, you know, and that kind of stuff, dancehall music now. So when he got converted, and that was the release of his first album, I think the name of it was Victory. Yeah, right. And so the album was out, and I knew he was moving around and stuff. But then now to be invited to an event where we had the opening act for him was like, yo,
Yeah.
you know. But it was really, really a humbling experience. I did learn a lot, especially of leadership in that situation, because I remember, you know, you had a very, very impactful talk with us, travel, because you know you said, well, once we hit the ground, everybody has their individual responsibility.
Yeah.
But then now, as the band leader, I had to kind of make sure not only that everybody attended to their individual responsibilities, but to make sure that everybody is okay, everybody is comfortable, everybody is excited, everybody is energized.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a learning experience as well.
Yeah.
You know, but those I'm telling you, Barbados in particular,
Yeah.
that is in my mind like yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like yesterday, honestly, because I was telling somebody up to a couple of weeks ago when we made that trip that I remember for Prado pull up by the hotel for us.
Yeah.
So in that conversation with the guy, I was like, you know, so that damn time B13 and stuff and B12 making its way in Trinidad, right? So I asked the guy, I said, so and I was taxis, right? So I was like, you know, so although you have these people, I was like, nah, you Prado, that big vehicle down here.
Yeah.
That's a big truck vehicle down here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, to have this type of treatment and stuff, and you know, to just to be humble at the same time, is a lesson, honestly. It's a lesson, honestly, you know. So it was really a learning experience as well.
Yeah, and it's amazing, as I said, out of the Prado, I remember I went St. Vincent in the early 90s, and Maxi Taxi was Benz.
Yeah.
Benz?
Yeah.
And them normal, but for us down here, you have a Benz. And that was Maxi Taxi up there for them. But it's, you know, perception and value system is a strange thing. But yeah, that really was a learning period. Even for me too, because I think that was actually my first time acting as manager of a band. I roll, as you know, of course, I roll with Angela Williams for quite a while, myself and PJ and stuff. Even up the islands, we went all Antigua, and I remember one of the first times I went Barbados with her. It was a conference, and I had to share on the technical stuff, sound engineering, and you know the roles that they play and that kind of stuff. And I remember, and that's actually what opened the door for G Lyrics to go. Because I ended up performing.
Yes, I remember. Right.
Yeah.
I remember
And then I said, well, no, I have a band. I just do it, but I have a band. If you want to get the band, thing. So he said, well, if you performing like that, well, just, and so that, anyhow, the door opened. But the thing is, the point I want to make is this. While up there, I had an interesting experience. Some guys came to me, and the church was having an event the night. Like that thing, like the Saturday night, they call it a fish fry. Well, like a barbecue, but of course, flying fish and thing was big up there, just like Tobago.
Yeah.
So was fish, right? So, with that kind of thing, but with fish. So they say, and while that going on, they have they're playing music, and they say, you're not coming and play jam with me later, thing. I say, yeah, I could come through. What keyboard will they have? Man, watch me. I mean keyboard. You don't play pan? I said, just so? He said, but you from Trinidad. How you from? And then the man telling me, how you coming from Trinidad and you can't play pan?
And can't play pan, yep.
So they automatically had this expectation. You coming from Trinidad, you supposed to know how to play pan. That was a lesson right there. And I started to look at the whole cross-cultural thing differently, because we had to be real. People's expectation of us because of where we come from is what it is. Just like we have the minute we see somebody that we feel they look like they're from the US, we start to behave a certain way. We feel they're from England, we start to behave a certain way. it was the same thing. So that was a real eye-opening
Yeah, we had
scenario.
to. I remember we had to change our repertoire a little bit because
Yes.
I think we were like probably like 70% reggae, 30% music,
Yeah.
30% soca.
Yeah.
But the guy was very clear. He said, "Oh, if all they're coming up, let's bring that soca."
Yeah, look coming from Trinidad, let her bring soca.
Yeah, Trinidad,
Yeah.
bring that soca. You don't have Papa San already for the reggae dance.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
I remember one of our I wouldn't call names, but one of our prominent soca artists started to sing soca because they got booed on a stage in the States. Singing a set of Michael Jackson. They said, no, don't come here with that. We have, I'll just paraphrase it.
They have the original.
We have the original thing. You coming here with that? No. And they boom him off stage. And the whole thing switched. Yeah.
I remember I think was Angela Williams at one of our conferences locally here that I attended. I remember she shared about Ron Canoli and experience Ron Canoli, and when he came here, and he said that he attended a church or service or something, and they heard, he heard Emerald singing his song and stuff. And I remember, he said at the end, he said somewhere within the service that he was really looking forward to experience our music. Yeah.
Well, talking about that, let me swing to it one time because I realized that that is actually what you have done. And I'm going to run something else here before we get back into you. Let me run something else here to get a little taste of the man himself. So this is Daryl Anthony Dolland with his group WSS Wood Song Spirit. This is WSS 2015. Right, and this is at Central Bank Auditorium. So taking this one from him, the name of the tune is called Your Grace. So this is another one from Daryl Anthony Dolland. And we come back to it.
You sent your only son to give this lost world hope in your salvation. We want to pay the price of death for our sin, but mercy said no and grace took our place.
And it's only because you loved us, and it's only because you care, and it's only because you want us to spend eternity with you, yeah.
It is your grace.
Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace. Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace.
And it's
only because you loved us, and it's only because you care, and it's only because you want us to spend eternity with you, yeah.
Listen. So when I think about my life, oh Lord, there is just a few things that I'm truly grateful for. It's not the material things that I have gotten,
Oh no.
but your grace, oh Lord, that you have given.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for my wife. And let's break it up. Let's tell them.
And it's only because you loved us, and it's only because you care, and it's only because you want us to spend eternity with
And
you.
it's only sing.
And it's only because you loved us, and it's only because you care, and it's only because you want
Let me hear you all sing this. Real simple. And it's only. And it's me hear this side. And it's only. it's only sing
And it's only because you loved us. And it's only because you care. And it's only because you want us to spend eternity with
and
you.
it's only sing and
It's only because you loved us. And it's only because you care. And it's only because you want us to spend eternity with you. Yeah.
it is your grace.
Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace. Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace.
It is your grace.
Your grace.
And it's only one more time.
And it's only because you loved us. And it's only because you care. And it's only because you want us to spend eternity with
And
you.
it's only sing and
And it's
it's
only because you loved us.
we know you
It's only
love
because
us.
you care.
We know you
It's only
care.
because you want us to spend eternity with you, yeah.
Boom! It's only because he loves us.
Only
Only
because.
because he cares. You can't take no credit for yourself. You can't do nothing. You understand? You didn't bring yourself here. So what credit you want to take? You understand? The little brain you have to do whatever you have. Thank God for that.
Yeah, that's it.
But I like the practicality of the song. You thank God for your wife, your children, your thing, you know. Because you realize it's only by the grace of God that you're even here to start with.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think back on my life, really and truly, there's nothing special. You know, I thank God for what He has invested in me. That is literally it. And that's just the reality of what I live with, you know, is what God has invested in me
Yeah.
is what I'm able to use for Him. Yeah.
So let me shift a little bit.
Mhm.
So you're writing your own music. You write for other people too,
Yeah.
or just yourself?
I've written actually once the memory for somebody.
Okay.
That was the song Secret Place.
Uh-huh.
When I actually wrote that with Joanne Madison.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, when I done.
Nice. Ooh, I should have had that track here to jam, boy. Yeah. But that track bad still is.
Oh, yeah, that groove and that reggae.
Yeah, boy, yeah. All right, so you write your songs, you sing.
Yeah.
When you made the shift to start doing spoken word, around what time did that happen?
That would have been around 2012. Yeah, around between
Yeah.
2010 2012. I was actually studying at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine, and I was pursuing my theater degree then.
Okay.
And a couple of courses that I did was in poetry. So in doing that, I came across a couple persons up to the day who remain very good friends.
Yeah.
And they used to have this thing called You Will Speak.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I used to go down and listen to these guys,
Yeah.
let's spit in bars, as they call it.
Yeah.
And so that really kind of sparked interest. So I actually paid a lot of more interest into poetry. And started exploring the different styles of poetry and stuff, and then I started hearing about what they call spoken word.
Okay.
So I started to relay locals like Mohammed and Jaron Sandy, Idris Salim, a couple of these guys who remain very, very good friends of mine. Right? And and eventually I found myself started writing my own pieces and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So when now I coming in here like a novice, right? Because I ain't sure. But I remember at one time there was a term called floetry. Is that the same thing that has now been renamed spoken word, or is it two different art forms?
To me, it is two different art forms. Usually, floetry has that musical element to it.
Okay.
So, in the sense that it's a base of music that is there, and you kind of just you go with it. So you create your stays or you speak your piece on that. Spoken word, even though I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's not connected.
Yeah.
It kind of stands on its own because it embraces more literary elements like personification and metaphors and similes and oxymoron.
Okay.
And then it embraces also some monologue element because it's very performative.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that it's a rename of it, but to my understanding, it's very distinct as how it stands on its own.
Yeah, you went.
I have people that still do poetry.
You went into teacher mode on with it, boy. Oxymoron, similarity. I become back by them. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So you've been involved. What has been the response been? If you could compare, hold on before you answer. If you could compare, and it might be a little kind of unfair question, but if you could compare the two, how you've been received as a vocal artist and how you've been received as a spoken word, could you, in your mind, see a difference?
I could see the difference. One of the things I think has happened is that our music industry is really saturated. We have a lot of persons in there. So I guess the work to, if I could use the term stand out, it's plenty. You have to do a lot. Right? It requires a lot of you to do that. Right? And there are some other elements in there that cannot contribute it, right?
Yeah.
But because spoken word is sort of like to me it's still taken off. We have a very large audience for it, and we also have a large amount of persons involved in it. Or I'm gonna say a good amount of persons that I know that's involved in it. But because it's still building, and I'm kind of like in that little area where it's still very much foundational. A lot of people sometimes come to me often more for poetry than the music, even though they know I do the music.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, So
Okay.
so that's
all right. I wanted to bring up a piece here, and I think this piece, if I remember correctly, you were actually featured on I-95 with this piece called "Slap Yourself." And
right. Yeah, I remember somebody told me that.
Yeah. They really talk about it. Positively, and that was interesting.
Okay.
They actually put a little write up, I believe, on their Facebook page and that kind of thing, and I was interested. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we go further, let me introduce you to the other side. As I said, we're focusing more on the artistic element of the man. So we dealt a little bit with the music. We went into the songwriting. I want to introduce you now to, if you haven't seen it before, a little bit of the spoken word side of Mr. Darrell Anthony Dolland.
In the mirror I look and see what I don't want to see. It's me, the calamity, again. Thinking I removed that mark, but like that mark me for death. Cause the marking's still there, and it's clear to everyone else who is blind. Cause I have eyes only on me. It's a stain. Keep trying again and again, but again I go back to it again, putting the mark right back. Slap yourself. Stop this folly. Slap yourself, cause you Mr. Man in the mirror, like you not seeing that if you use the same makeup artist and the same face with the same contortment, curves and lines. So unless in time you redefine the position of your mind and allow the master artist time to realign, well boy, you just wasting time in your cycle, like a merry-go-round or a circus clown or the sketch displaying tongue. Everyone, even time, go walk past you, cause in the eyes of many except your two, it don't make sense. Slap yourself to hear the words of the words shared in the air, piercing the inner soul and the outer disposition to reposition your vision, cause like you can't see, you're making a mess. Look in the mirror, look good. You try all the methods. You fast whole week and you pray each month, but you still can't flush the folly, cause like a lolly, it's too sweet. So you go and licking the stick, then get a licking from the stick of your conscience, feeling bad and convicted, sentenced to the cycle of dejected and rejected, back in the mirror, watching the mark again. Slap yourself, you call the man again. Pastor see the name by heart, know the number. He gave you the same remedy, but you don't cater, so you didn't take the full dosage and you want complete healing. You serious? Slap yourself, look in the mirror. You really think that scripture plaster could heal what's sore? Get to the core. That plaster is potentially a stylized way of fooling yourself into a style like godliness with no Holy Spirit to transform the word into lifestyle. So your life is not a conforming but transforming, appreciating the weakling that is self and depending on the work of the Father. Else you'll be back and forth in this mirror. End the facade, be real. You can't do it on your own or alone, because really at the throne grace and mercy is condoned. So don't postpone the opportunity to dethrone the self-proclaimed king and enthrone the giver of life and creator of inward beauty and outward majesty. Slap yourself, see it clear. Like dawn misted by sleeping eyes, see, look, realize you're restricted, constricted to frailty and fear, which brings fear and care to be evicted of life's happiness, even joy. It's a ploy to destroy hope. The necessary curse dispersed throughout cultures, generations, affiliations, associations, and communities, which help with sustainability of life, even life abundant. Cycling the track, at the start, you're back to start the cycle again. Wanting a path to lead the heart to rest, peace to at least cease the cycle. This horror of facing the mirror forever without hope to see clearer, the error erase from your face to pace a smile tooth wide and hide in the beauty of grace. Subside into mercy's taste. In me, I want to be free from me. This war raging deep within me, my Lord, nature, the natural, the physical, the carnal, fights to dominate. Slap yourself. Awake myself to tell myself, self, you must die.
Yeah. I ain't but I don't have no pause reason. I feel I don't play that one for camera. Yeah, but, oh God! Oh no, I'll tell them out. Slap yourself.
Yeah, boy, that's it.
We have a comment here coming from Dawn Hola. How are you going, Dawn? Hey, Dawn, hey. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my sister-in-law.
Hi, Dawn.
Let's say amazing. See my wife saying something about wash hands. Oh, I understand that wash hands thing. She makes some comment about wash hands. Nevertheless, yeah, boy. Nah, Daryl, that one, I like that one. Serious, boy. That one's very touching. What I appreciate. It took me. I'll be honest with you. It took me a while to spoken word had to grow on me. Let me put it that way. Mm-hmm. It really had to grow on me. I am very music centric. I must hear a melody. I need to hear a nice little bass line. Kind of. That's just me, right? Mm-hmm. But it really took something extra to really appreciate the artistic side of spoken word. Yeah. Right? Now I know a lot of people just trip off on that alone. You know, you hear them words just they're just going off on that. It took me a while, but I think I've learned to appreciate it for what it is. You made a statement some time ago that if somebody wants to call themselves an artist, they need to appreciate the art form on a broad spectrum. They can't pick and choose. Yeah. Why you say that? Is that your thinking, or is it that something you read somewhere? Or?
I believe I came across the idea somewhere. I really can't remember, but I know it became embedded in me because as an artist, you have to appreciate expression. You know, so you find something I like to do. I honestly like to go to dance shows. I really like dance shows. Right? So I'll go to a dance show and I'm just seeing all these different dance movements and the music and stuff. There is no lyric, there's no speaking, nothing there. There's nothing. There's a storyline up there that I'm reading, to follow.
True.
But you could follow the story. And I really love dance shows. Drama is another thing that I'm heavily involved in, and I love that. Yeah. I love to see great painting. Sometimes I don't understand what the painting is about. But sometimes when I have friends and colleagues who are involved in it, and they would tell me, okay, well, this piece is about that. This piece reveals that and that kind of stuff. And so I've just really learned to appreciate expressions, artistic expression of any type.
Yeah.
To just really appreciate it.
Now that is something serious, because something you said, Jay, let's see if it comes back to mind quick. I get to that point now where it just hit and just roll off. It don't go in. It just. But it will come back. So spoken word. Well, yeah, spoken word. I think listening to it just now, I think I kind of get what you're trying to explain, the difference between poetry and spoken word. Because I was wondering what a change in name for. But I think I see the difference, thinking back now of what I knew at the time as poetry, and hearing what you just did. Even remembering some other pieces that I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had a discussion with a couple of persons actually on it, And only same thing, poetry. Even if somebody once asked me, but that is monologue all it do, and I told them no.
Yeah.
Monologue requires like props. Sometimes it might require, So there are just little elements, but at the end of the day, they're all expressions.
Yeah.
They're all artistic. You'll find they will be related to one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Alright, guys, I want to take in another one. I just have a couple more clips here, because I wanted to appreciate the man, in his elements. So I do have one. Unfortunately, I do have one with him drumming, because I like to hear that too. Man's a good drummer. You understand? The man's a good drummer. And I said that. Let me say this one time. I think one of the mistakes, the unfortunate mistakes we make, is something that we really can't get away from. I understand it is part of who we are as a people, but at the same time, I think it's one of the things that keeps us down. Is when we constantly try to make comparisons, and we don't appreciate somebody for who they are, where they are in terms of their development, their stage. We always try to compare them. Okay, but he don't song as good as, or she don't look as nice as. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Does he sound good as himself here? No. Yeah. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And we compare too much.
Yeah, that is something that honestly I would say face and had to deal with. And let me give you, I'll say even Jesus do it, even Jesus experienced it. You see anybody who say, no, let's see John the Baptist, the man here, he looking crazy, and they say he look like a madman. I'm dressed in my thing, and let's say I'm a friend of this one and that one. So,
that was it's part of who we are. You can't get away from it, but
it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Because I think what the person actually do when you try to compare someone with somebody else is that let me say if I compare Fred Hammond is one of my favorite. Right. So if I'm to say Fred Hammond is better than Kurt Franklin, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because they have charted their own course, they have created their own style, they have their own personality and stuff. So you appreciate the individuals in their lane as they, within their own individual depiction of themselves.
But where you think that comes from? Let me give you my thoughts, and I want you to tell me where you feel that philosophy comes from. I think that partly stems from how we rate success, for instance. So if artist A is selling more records than artist B, then artist A is automatically the better artist.
Yeah.
I think partially, yeah.
Oh, let me tell you where I think that it is. Let me say to Trinidad. I think it's a little issue that we as Trinidadians have. Because I'm gonna look at right next door, Jamaica, right? Let me look at right Jamaica.
Yeah.
And sorry to use some of the what we would call secular guys, but in the dancehall fraternity, every new artist you eventually hear about, when you trace back their story and their development, they were coached by senior ones, you know. So
yes.
the one who was trending at the time, he saw this little guy, he saw this and he said, you know what, he had talent. So wherever this senior one goes, he take this young one and he say, here what, sing two of your song before he come on.
Yeah.
So they have been doing that for years. So they are not threatened by young talent because they understood that as an individual, you make your way, you work, and people will appreciate, and they allow others to do that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing even internationally. Everybody appreciates and respects an artist. Whether you're an artist who is prominent now, or you were popular 10, 15 years ago, you're still respected. I traveled to Texas in 2015, and I think is that Rita Franklin or one of these old soul singers, Eric, was on tour. And when I mean on tour, had bookings and different stuffs and stuff to sing.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember when last I heard this individual put out any music publicly or even heard the name mentioned.
I know what you mean.
Right? So Trinidad, we have an issue right here in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, that we have a habit of wanting to shut down one or the others to make another or others look good, which is just unfortunate. But it's sad. Yeah.
So let me kind of tie in now this. Is there a business element to this side of you, or this is just like a hobby? This is just for your entertainment, or is it just ministry, or is there a business element to this side of you?
Yeah, that is something that I really struggle with for years. Honestly, I think because I love this thing so much, I've been doing this for years, right? And I think I've never been one to be very regimented on that business element. And I had friends who pull me away and say, hey, what's going on? When you go studio, they ain't getting you the studio time free.
Exactly.
They ain't getting you the artwork free.
And it's not cheap either.
And it's not cheap either. You understand? So there is a business element that I had to learn to establish and to manage. So sometimes if there is an event and I sometimes speaking with the organizers or the promoters or whoever it might be, get some information from them, and I work to suit based on that. But honestly, it's something that I really had to learn, and but it's something that there's definitely a business element, because when you as an artist are putting out money to try and produce quality music that people can hear and appreciate, and then when they have their event and they want you to come there to share this, it's something that you have to understand. Listen, even to get there, I didn't walk. I had to travel. There's gas being incurred. Sometimes either you're coming with your family, you have to you want to treat them wise at their event. So there is a business element, and it's something that we really have to understand and appreciate.
Do you you teach at Northeastern College, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you teach?
Theater and drama.
Okay. They have a program with that now in school?
Yeah, full syllabus curriculum, all the way up to Form 6 that teaches you actually business in the arts. Yeah. Yep.
Too late for me to go back to school.
UE has the option where you can actually get it from, you know, you can start in
true.
UE.
Well, of course, I know a lot of people
become-
like yourself, Khadija Glasgow, and a whole heap of people
Yes,
you know,
yes,
that went through that program. It's a good program because I actually see the difference with people who go through that program and people who just
Definitely.
kind of learn on the fly and, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, because you see the value of the structure, which is good.
Yes,
yes,
definitely.
All right, so you teach that at Northeastern College.
Yeah.
How long now?
What we in 2020? Yeah, but I can't forget this year, 2020. 9 years.
Historically,
9 years.
Yeah.
Historical, yeah, 9 years, 9 years.
9 years,
This one actually making 9 years already, yeah.
Anybody that you could recall, any of your student that left the program that are now actively involved in any aspect of the entertainment industry?
Yes, I actually have one young lady who is doing some really fabulous work, musically especially.
Okay.
But I remember when she took theater and drama. So in my mind, I know she loves singing. I hosted an event at the school called NEC Got Talent, and this young lady, from the preliminary straight to the final, she was blowing people's mind because she could sing and rap.
Yeah.
And when I mean sing, she could sing.
Okay.
And when I mean rap, she could rap. So it was a real amazing combination, especially for, you know, that's one of the things for young people now.
Yeah.
And so I thought that she would have done music, but she actually wanted to do theater because she said she wanted to have that performative element and teaching to her singing and stuff.
Yeah.
And now she's been doing work with some very prominent artists right here in Trinidad and Tobago, producing. So she's producing music and she's doing background vocals for some and stuff. Yeah. And then I have a couple others who, you know, do the stuff in the cross groups here and they're performing. And yeah.
Nice, man. Somebody made a statement. If I can remember what they said, boy. When the student is able to teach, you have done your job well.
Yes.
Yeah, when your student is able to teach, you have done your job well. So I had to say congrats if that was happening. I had to give you a big congrats. That's good. Because too many people, and of course we will know that, but too many people just go through the school program, and that's it. Nothing after that.
Yeah, but that whole program by itself.
Yeah. Of course, as a teacher, I know.
It's the education system. We have a lot to do in terms of making it relevant from not only the individual student and students, but even in terms of the time, the season, the society, the community. You know, so many different things that we have to take into consideration to really make education make sense into this day and time.
I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago. Dexter is on, man. Dexter Lawrence. Good afternoon to this. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to this man, Apostle Dexter Lawrence. From Trini, all the way in Antigua, locked on, looking on, and enjoying anything. Dexter, man. Dexter, how you going, Papa? Nice to see you. So I was going to make the point.
I was just going to say that's one of the guys that I used to admire when it comes
yes.
He was at worship. I used to look up to him to sing.
Dexter, amazing boy. And if you never hear his son, boy.
Well, the updated version of me now.
Yeah. And look, don't say ancestors. Yeah. Nah, boy, young fella, bad. He doing some nice work. But I was going to make the point. He's talking about the school thing. I gave the story a couple of weeks ago that what I heard a few years about. One of our prominent music arrangers used to be in the back of the class with 2 pencils. While class going on, and that is him beating iron and beating the desk like drumming and all that kind of thing. Teacher tired put him out of the class because they talked to him. He go stop for a few minutes and he go on right back. Put him out of the class. Keep putting him out of the class. All that kind of thing. Today, the man is a prominent, internationally sought after arranger.
Wow.
in
Yeah.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
But the system couldn't recognize that.
Yeah. I mean, even sportsmen have that kind of problem. They can't stay still, the one that they get a ball, that they, of some sort. But again, the issue is that how do we take education and design it in such a way that everybody can blossom in their individual field? So you see, we come all the way back to the issue of trying to determine everybody based on one scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I'm sure you saw this meme already. Wait, let me see, like 5 animals, a snake, a turtle, a toad, a thing, an elephant, and they say the one who climbed the tree fastest get the prize. You telling an elephant to climb a tree? You understand? Fish in the bowl, all kind of thing. They had to judge them in their own, based on their own, where they are. But that is, I agree with you. That's part of the problem. You try to put everybody in that one.
Yeah, that one basket, that one frame. And try to get everybody to
it don't work. It don't work.
Yeah,
it can't work. But I hope at some point they're able to address that that kind of thing, because too much people just falling by the way, not being able to fulfill their potential because, like Professor, I always like using this statement, Professor Ulrich Cross. Our system teaches us how to learn but not how to think. So. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. That's it. So you know that sequence. But the minute you had to go from step 2 to step 4, you're lost. Because that you don't know how to tie the gap.
I will say something, and I hope some people don't get vexed with me, but that is kind of part of our enslaved mentality.
It is.
In that, we are given just enough to remain dependable.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct is
but
right.
if you design somebody with the ability to think, mean that you really can't hold that person on because they can process and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving.
Yeah.
But some people just.
Let me just say this. For those who listening, and I mean there are a number of different things we could cite, but let me just give you a quick, easy one. Go to a site called thetalkingdrum.com. TalkingDrum.com and look for the Willie Lynch letter. Read that. The Willie Lynch. I first heard about this Willie Lynch guy from Pastor Oswald Williams. Same thing. We went in Barbados one time. He talked about that and what that Willie Lynch program was designed for, to keep people in a state of perpetual slavery. He said, he was talking to slave masters. He said, if you all put this plan into practice, you will have your slaves subservient for centuries to come.
Yeah.
And years after, when we look at the things that he talked about, we actually see it happening today still.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. The Willie Lynch letter. Amazing work. And you'll understand why we operate how we operate.
Let's check that out
as a people. Yeah, boy, nice.
Let's check that out.
You ever notice, and I mean, I'm going on a certain road with this, but we talking. You ever notice when the average Trinidadian meets somebody who appears to be a foreigner, more so a white person, our behavior change?
Yeah.
We start to talk different, we start to move different. But the minute so right now we talking to the person here, as soon as you turn so to your Trini brother thing, you're going back to whatever crazy, way how you operate. But when you had to address that person, everything refined and that's part of the conditioning.
Yeah, we will allow some foreigners to have a meeting with us in the short.
Yeah, but you
It's just so much work that we have to do when it comes to liberty and freedom. I mean, you talk emancipation and stuff, but there's really a lot of work to be done when it comes to emancipation. As individuals, our country and that kind of stuff.
Boy.
Even our relationships are still affected by that. It's plenty.
It's serious. So let me just make this announcement here. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. So if you're interested, as I keep saying every week, if you've been liking what we're doing on the channel, you're finding some kind of interest. If you have some interesting topic you want to discuss, or you just want to be part of the journey, you want to come on and be part of the show, and you have some issue you want to engage. Again, not talking politics. Yes, we will talk some things that may be affecting us as a country, as the case may be, but we're not going down with politics per se in that hard sense. But we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about church, we'll talk about life, we'll talk about school, we'll talk about sports, all those kinds of stuff. We talk about Black Lives Matter, all that if you want. We talk finance, economy, we'll talk all that. So if you're interested want to come on, we want to discuss a topic, feel free to contact us. The numbers are there. Of course, we're on Trinidad and Tobago, 868-477-1121, and my email, ericvalvarez@gmail.com. You'll also find that number on WhatsApp. You'll find me on Messenger, you'll find me on Twitter, you'll find me on Instagram, you'll find me on Facebook. Yeah. Hook me up. Yeah, let's hook me up. Let me have some discussions, because I kind of fed up hearing people just talking in pockets but not doing anything. Address it, you understand? Yeah. And I kind of get wary of hearing people who have all the answers. They know everything the government doing wrong. The government from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, since PNM was the first government, they know everything that went wrong.
Yeah.
They know all the solutions to fix it. But every year or every 5 years, when a new government change, they complain about the past government and the ills of the present government where they fall short. Yeah. Well, why you don't go up for government? Why you don't put up yourself for let people vote you, at least start there, so at least do something in your area? But no, all you know everything that everybody else doing wrong. Well, you do it. So I kind of fed up about that. So
it's one of the reasons
but we
why
address the issues.
It's one of the reasons why I'm involved in some of this stuff, because the same mindset. I believe that the ill is there. Talking about it being there, not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So I like to just kind of put my hands in, get dirty, and do what I can to make and effect some kind of change.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I see a comment here from Dexter. Let me hear what you say there. Because we never discovered the love to love ourselves. Solid. I like how you started right there. We never discovered how to love ourselves and what we can produce. Always love what comes from outside. Dexter, you boy, that's not a nail. That's a spike. You just ram a spike with a sledgehammer there. What's that? That went in home. No, but that's a fact. Yeah. That is a fact. That is a fact. And that is, I come back to the same thing with the Barbados thing that I mentioned. Because let me put it this way. It's not that we hate pan in Trinidad, but if you're not a pan man, follow what I'm saying? If you're not part of that clique, you're not part of a pan side, you really don't have much interest in pan. That is the reality for us in Trinidad. But yet you go up the islands, they expect you, because you are Trinidadian, to be able to play pan. That means they're expecting that there's some measure of patriotism, if you want to use that word. There's some measure of likeness, because you are Trini. This is we.
The thing is that amateur image, that you pan like, okay, Trinidad and Tobago. We feel proud when we outside, when we are abroad.
Yeah.
You want a pan necklace or a chain on with a pan image.
Yeah.
Or a red, white, and black. Yeah, or the name. One of our artists do well out there. All of us, I think we're still proud and that kind of stuff. But it has to be real.
Yeah.
It has to be something that you're ongoing with.
I had a couple a few weeks ago who were also involved in the arts, and one of the things we raised up, I told them about an issue, not an issue, but a story a gentleman told me, and he kind of verified the whole thing. Now, remember, I'm not calling names, there was a particular music store upper Frederick Street at one time.
Right, yeah.
The guy and I, we became, fairly close. And eventually they left there and they moved to other places and stuff, so we used to buy stuff there. But I remember he told me at one time, he went to Sweden. Never forgot this. He went to Sweden a particular year. And we in 2020, yeah? I am talking possibly 1989 possibly. Or 90. In fact, 1990. just coming out of the coup.
Right.
1990, 1991 to be the latest within that block. And since that time, he telling me he went to a pan factory in Sweden where they was using xylophone material to craft their pan. He said the difference between that song and the steel drum is like chalk and cheese. No comparison.
Yeah.
He said the only reason, because I mean he's a businessman, he said the only reason he didn't bring to sell is because he knew it would have killed the Trini market. And he's supporting local. He's a local white. Let's put it that way. When you hear him talk, pure grassroots Trini. But look at him, he's a white man. I tell you, whitey white. But he said the only reason he bring it because he don't want to kill the local market. Because when Panmen hear that, they go want to buy it.
But you see, again, that is unfortunate because I think you should want to have pan in every home in Trinidad and Tobago. It should be easily affordable.
Yeah.
A guitar should be easier to buy than a pan.
Exactly. At least not for us.
I mean? But at least not for us.
Yeah.
You know, it should be different.
Correct.
You know, but and again, it's it is really something that we had to sit down and analyze as a country and seriously discuss within ourselves. Do some introspection.
But it has to move beyond. Well, I like it or I don't like it. It's not that.
Yeah.
It had to be more than just that. But while as I talk about, like, you know what I love to hear, Daryl. If I tell you this, you would not believe it. One particular instrument that has just tripped me off in a good way and has just sent me crazy. The dulak.
The dulak?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We're pause racing already. You don't know how. When I go, well, of course, you know the kind of work I do with, sound system and that kind of thing. And sometimes we do things with chutney artists and I hear that start, but oh God, I just go crazy. I had to put a mental, Eric, keep yourself in check. But I just love to hear that instrument.
The one that is very similar to the snare. How does call it again? In the
To the snare.
It's they usually use it in the indoor music construction. The tabla, I think it's but they normally use 2 sticks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I know
almost looks like a snare.
Yeah.
That is
okay.
Yeah, because I mean that rattling on that it's gonna be all tight.
Serious,
man.
I just love to hear that. So I don't know. So let me close off because ladies and gentlemen, we are 1:15 the hour. And we've been having a nice discussion. Of course, the man himself, Mr. Derek Anthony Dolland, artist, teacher, entrepreneur, philanthropist. Let me put this over so you can say philanthropist. You gotta put your tongue between your 2 teeth, as we used to say it a long time. But we've been having a nice channel. Let me say thanks to the couple of folks that has been commenting. Dawn, Dexter Lawrence, my wife Joella is on. She monitors every single show. She don't skip by that. She behind the scenes. But if a little thing, she running quick and she give me a little sign. Or see, she brought a little piece of paper from me earlier. More volume on that. She don't make joke by that. Yeah, she don't make joke by that. She want to make sure things go right. I really appreciate her for that. So let's talk about, just to close off, as I say, we just introducing these other elements. We definitely had to have another show to talk about these 3 different things about, because I like it. There's so much to talk about. The whole education stuff, there's a heap inside the business. We definitely want to talk about that, because one of the main things about this station, Red, and about the show is about featuring local entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Right?
Nice.
So that's my drive. I want to focus. I don't know how people value their spread in terms of how well they're known and so on. But let me give you a story. I remember I went to Bago to do a wedding. A friend of mine asked me to come along as a second cameraman. And it was a Tobagonian girl got married to a British guy, white guy that she met in school while studying up there. So the guy's family, close friends, they chartered a plane from England to come to Tobago. So they had their own DC, I think it was the DC, the 920 or the DC 80 or some kind of thing. So the one with the 2 engine at the back at the time what we had.
Right.
Hired a whole plane to come down. So my partner now like trying to impress them kind of thing. So introducing me as the second cameraman, but you want to think this. He said this is Bunji Garland's brother. So everybody watching him. Okay. Who's Bunji Garland? No, so they don't know Bunji Garland? No. See, you don't know this one. I started to call some other big soca artist name. They don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody know, when I say everybody, is a known fact. Notting Hill Carnival is a big thing globally.
Yeah.
And our prominent soca artists go up there. Yet you have people there that don't know. They don't know who they are.
Don't know, yeah.
So I'm saying, my thing is, what little I can do, as you said, what little I can do with this forum to help get my people more known. Because right in Trinidad, I remember I was part of an event about 2 years ago or so. It was a big show. And they decided to bring in a couple gospel artists into the show. And the names that were mentioned were unknown. They were big, but yet they were unknown.
Yeah.
If you follow what I mean. On the gospel circuit, they were big people. You call a name, you go to any church or wherever, you call a name. Oh, yeah, but certain thing. To that particular group of people. Who is that? We never heard a name before. One of them. Sorry, hold on. One of them, to tell you how bad it is, one of them was actually a judge on one of these competitions. We had like the you could dance, be mobile, and Digicel Rising Stars, and we had different things like that. One of them was even a judge on one of them shows, and still the people didn't know them. So I tell people, when you feel you need as much exposure I could get. So my thing is to use this forum to help expose my people as much as possible. You're going to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to give the two examples. I remember when you went to Barbados the first year, right? Like first we got introduced, whatever. We did the music and whatever. People love her, especially in one of the hit song and them, which was Identity. Yeah. So when we were saying, so next year when we meet back, everybody like, yeah, J-Rex singing. But those 2 years, even right here in Trinidad, people didn't know what J-Rex.
Yeah.
We didn't know only so that example. And then I remember when I went to Texas, I was asking some friends of when I attended that wedding there. So I was asking some friends if they know Fred Hammond, because Fred Hammond Texas.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, how do you not know Fred Hammond?
Yeah, true.
And it's just because people in certain circles and stuff, they just, so it's true. The point is that, I just saying that to re-emphasize the point that you were making.
Yeah, and the thing is, and nothing is wrong with that, because you always find that because, for instance, people in the gospel circuit will not know certain secular artists. People from the secular community will not know certain gospel artists or whatever, and vice versa. People who in the jazz community, for instance, will not know certain people outside, or vice versa. You find the average person will not know certain jazz artists. For instance, as I'm talking about jazz, let me say a pleasant good evening to this gentleman who just arrived, Mr. Anton Doyle, who is the chairman of the Jazz Artists on the Greens Committee. So he could identify what I'm talking about, because I've been fortunate to be working with them, and I want to say thanks again to Anton for giving us the opportunity. For the last, since 2012, I believe, we've been doing the Jazz Artists on the Greens series. And every year...
That's in Wassa Grounds?
Well, it's in Wassa Grounds for the last 5 years or so.
Okay,
but every year, every year I am meeting people that I never hear about in my life.
Yeah.
And when I go and check the name, them performing like 20, 25, 30 years. I never hear about them. Why? Simply because I'm not in that circuit. So, it's something that you can't get away from, but at the same time, if you could find a way to give people exposure outside of their normal circuit, you could never tell. That's a whole different crowd that you could pull inside it. So I had to pull this man in a thing, Anton, because that Jazz Artist on the Green series has been, what's the word I want to use? It has opened doors. It has opened doors for a lot of young artists across Trinidad and Tobago. What I like with them in particular is that they don't just do jazz in the broad sense. They focus on what he calls Caribbean jazz. In other words, all the artists who perform at Jazz Artists on the Greens, either they have a Caribbean background, they were born in a Caribbean country, or they have parentage from here, or their music is Caribbean centered in terms of their style and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I could appreciate it. Like he said, Jazz Artists on the Greens in St. Joseph since 2010. So it's 10 years we there. Look at that. Look,
my visited on him, and I heard some accent like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah. So I actually counted that privilege to be involved. I actually got involved due to my friend Victor, who's been doing audio for them from ever since. Victor is Jazz Artists on the Greens. They kind of go hand in hand. Audio works. And Victor was able to bring me in, and we explored the whole video thing, and we've been doing it ever since. And going from stage to stage. So I want to say thanks again to Anton, his brother Ralph, to Nigel, to can't remember all, Keith, can't remember all the names, but the management of the Jazz Artists on the Greens committee, as a production one, I should say, who's the company that runs Jazz Artists on the Greens. Let me say thanks to you guys for allowing us the privilege to be part of that process for the last few years. Dexter Lawrence, great show. God bless, and God bless you too, Dexter Lawrence. Thank you for dropping in, man. Let me say thanks to everybody who was able to drop some comments and some positivity and some inspiration in the thing. That's all this is about, education, inspiration, motivation, and that's it. Hopefully, as Prangalang would say, if you don't win a jersey, at least you could learn something. I know jersey to give away, but I'm sure you will learn something.
You can learn something.
You will learn something at the end of the show. So, Anton, we had to talk because I have an idea for a show with Jazz Artists on the Green in mind, but we'll talk about it. So, Darryl, let me just close it off with a little bit of your philanthropy. So you have the homework center.
Yeah. So this is a project. As you shared earlier on, I started a foundation in honor of my mom. It's called the Joan Lewis Foundation. You can check it out on Instagram and Facebook. We have a page there, so you can kind of see some of the things that we've been doing. One of the major projects that we're undertaking right now is to establish a homework center in the community of Valencia, in particular the KP Lands area. What we are hoping to be able to do is to kind of help level off the field when it comes to education for some students. There are some students who have the opportunity to get extra lessons, have access to internet, have access to to additional teaching and stuff. But then there are some who don't. So we want to be able to provide those type of services to persons who don't have access to it. And that will require a lot of support financially and physically. So right now as the foundation, we are kind of finalized in terms of the board of directors and then chart a way forward to begin putting things in place to finalize the actual infrastructure
Okay.
for the homework center and stuff. Yeah.
All right. So for those of you who looking on and you want to get involved, this is the page, the Joan Lewis Foundation. And honestly, I like the page. I mean, playing that it liked right past tense. I'm part of the thing. But I notice you have something here, Daryl. Looks like a material list. How can people get involved? I'm seeing material breakdown, sleeving, octagon thing, whatever, trunking thing. Right.
So that list, that list that is there. Right now we're at a stage where we are preparing to get the electrical done for the space. So what we did is that we posted it there, and we indicated to the person that if it is that you want to contribute financially, you can message me on the page, or you can call 378-2965. That is 378-2965, and let us know, and we'll give you the account information that you could deposit. Or if you see some there and you say, well, yeah, what I going to uncover the cost and get these things, just contact me again, let me know, and we can scratch it off the list and say, well, right, that is done, that is covered, and we move on. So we're thankful to those persons who so far have reached out to us and have been contributing towards that particular cause. Man,
and let me just in case you're wondering who was this lovely lady called Mrs. Joan Lewis. This is Daryl's deceased mom, Joan Lewis. A real mom, not only to her children, but a mother in the community. I felt like one of her sons. I was treated as one of her sons, and that's the kind of nice family that they have. And this was the lady. But let me just give you a sneak peek again. This was from another event that they had in Valencia.
This was the health fair that we had.
The health fair, correct. Just pull this back up here. Right. So what you had is a number of people coming from all over the area. Right. Imagine that police and all. You understand? Police and all getting the thing done. Right, and of course these people have legitimate medical backgrounds.
Our dietitian.
Right, dietitian, nutrition, and they're very trained and professional people. So it is not just somebody just trying a little thing for the sake of it. Nah, these are professionals that are involved, people who are trained and qualified pharmacists and dietitians and nutritionists and all that kind of stuff. So when they give you a piece of advice, it's solid thing. They tell you, well, you need to come off this fruit, or ease off the sugar or whatever. It's good thing they're telling you. Right? So that's a very I wasn't able to be part of it because I was involved in some other things, but I was following it right through. This was an excellent initiative. Hopefully when the next one comes around, I could be part of it. So ladies and gentlemen, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying that because our focus is education and health, this is something that will be ongoing in the community.
Nice. So just before we go, one last time, how can people get in touch with you again?
All right, so you can check out my social media handle. You'll see Anthony Christelike Dolland. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I also have my Facebook page. You can go follow me on Christelike Ministries, right? So that's spelled CHRISTELIKE Ministries, one word, right? You can go follow me there. I have a lot of stuff that I'm often throwing up there and stuff. So and also on Twitter as well. You can go follow me on Twitter as well. So
Nice, man. The whole line here for me. So while we wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you're liking what we see, what we're doing, feel free. Not feel free, but please share, like the page, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscription is important. Right? Very soon we'll be putting out some promotional material for persons who possibly want to advertise on the channel, or you want to partner with the channel in some way, because just like the Joan Lewis Foundation to do red crossing, I'm doing it because I want to do this. There's a love, and is also a way for me to help give back and to help in one way or the other on a national level, but it is costing. It is costly. So we will be talking about that in future episodes, but look out for that. We will have those opportunities coming around soon. If you want to partner with us in some way, and whether by a monthly contribution or some kind of thing, we'll get around to that. But that is it for today, guys. That is it day. Red, we locked down. The man himself, Mr. Daryl Anthony Dolland, aka Christelike, in the house. Songwriter, singer, spoken word artist, theater professional, and we'll get into all that when we go to the entrepreneur thing next time, because the man has a very serious background, qualification I should say, in lighting. He's a sought after lighting designer. I've actually had the privilege of working with him and seen some of his work. Amazing stuff. We'll talk about all of that. So he's a lighting designer as well. The man involved in thing. You understand? The man doing thing. And this is what we keep telling people at the end of the day. Listen, you can't. I saw a post today. I wonder if I could. Hold on there for me. Let me find it. Yes, I had to read this. It was actually a video that was shared. Let me Darrell, you had to hear this, boy. I don't have the video to play, but you could hear the audio. Hear this.
You see, salary is the medicine for managing poverty. It does not cure poverty. Only an investment or a business cures poverty. But not everybody can run a business, but everybody can invest. Okay. If you don't find a way to make your money work for you whilst you are asleep, you will work when you have to be sleeping.
He said your salary is medicine for your poverty. It doesn't cure your poverty. And if you understand medicine really don't cure ailments. What it does is treat it temporarily, so it gives you temporary relief. So you have something causing you pain, the medicine will give you temporary relief from that pain. So you have to keep taking the medicine, but it really don't cure you.
Yeah.
But if you want to cure the poverty, then you need to get into some kind of business or investment. But he was very careful to outline too. Not everybody could run a business, and we understand that. Yeah. Not everybody understands how to invest.
Yeah.
But at least try now, because you wouldn't know if you don't try. At least try and fail, rather than simply lie back and say, I ain't feel like you do that now. Yeah, and you be a slave to yourself for the rest of your life. So anyhow, just had to drop that inside. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're wrapping up this one. So Daryl, hold the line, they're coming back to you. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys next week. We have a return part 2. Remember, we had Adrian, the voice, Frederick. Adrian is back with us next week, and Adrian is actually launching a product that he's been working on for a little while. He hinted it last time he was here, but he's going to actually be launching it on Red, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and some other aspects, get more into his business on Red. So see you guys next week, 5 p.m.